Casinos make billions of dollars every year without knowing who will win any individual hand of blackjack or spin of roulette. And understanding how they do this transforms your understanding of what edge-based trading actually requires. Because the casino has solved the exact problem traders struggle with: profiting from uncertainty without needing certainty. The casino's edge in blackjack is roughly 0.5%, meaning for every $100 wagered they expect to keep about 50 cents. And this tiny edge produces massive profits, not because they win every hand, but because they play millions of hands, and the math works out over volume regardless of who wins any specific hand. When a high roller walks in and wins $100,000 in a night, the casino doesn't panic, doesn't fire the dealer, doesn't conclude their edge is broken, because they understand that individual outcomes are random while aggregate outcomes over sufficient volume are mathematically predictable, and one losing night changes nothing about the underlying edge. This is exactly how traders with positive expectancy should think. Your edge produces profit over hundreds of trades regardless of what happens on any individual trade. And just like the casino, you don't need to know who wins each hand. You just need to keep playing hands where the odds favor you. The casino never analyzes why a particular player won, never tries to predict which player will win the next hand, never experiences anxiety about the uncertainty of each individual outcome. Because they've fully accepted that individual outcomes are unknowable, while aggregate outcomes are reliable. And this acceptance allows them to operate with complete emotional neutrality. Traders do the opposite. They analyze every loss looking for what went wrong, try to predict which trades will win before entering, experience intense anxiety about each uncertain outcome, all because they haven't accepted what the casino has accepted. That edge works through volume, not through prediction. The casino's advantage isn't prediction, it's complete acceptance that individual outcomes are random. And this acceptance creates peace rather than anxiety, because they're not fighting uncertainty, they're profiting from it. Understanding that uncertainty is what brings players to the table and keeps the game going. When you trade like a casino, you stop asking, "Will this trade win?" and start asking, "Does this setup have positive expectancy?" Because the first question is unanswerable and creates anxiety, while the second question is answerable and creates confidence. And the answer to the second question is all you need to execute. The casino doesn't need every hand to win. They need the mathematics to work over thousands of hands. And your trading doesn't need every trade to win either. You need the mathematics to work over hundreds of trades, which means your job is executing edge consistently, not predicting individual outcomes correctly. Think about what would happen if casinos operated like most traders. They'd analyze each losing hand, trying to figure out what went wrong. They'd feel devastated when high rollers won big. They'd question their edge after every losing streak. They'd constantly adjust their rules, trying to prevent losses that are actually inevitable. And they'd go out of business from emotional interference with a mathematically sound system. The casino stays in business because they don't do any of this. They trust the math. They execute consistently. They accept losses as cost of doing business. And they know that over sufficient volume, their edge produces predictable profits, regardless of individual outcome variance. Your implementation after your next loss. Instead of analyzing what went wrong, say, the casino doesn't analyze losing hands, they trust the edge over volume. And notice whether this reframe changes how the loss feels. Because if you can truly adopt the casino mindset, losses become as emotionally neutral as they are for the house. Trade like a casino means accepting that you don't know who wins each hand, and you don't need to know. Your edge works over volume just like theirs does, and the only thing standing between you and casino-like consistency is your willingness to accept uncertainty rather than fighting against it.